morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. I hope you're all doing very well. Christos, next slide, please. Thank you. So today we are going to find out how Quest International University increased patron usage of library resources and patron engagement. I'm your host, Cintia Trigonopoulos from OpenAthens. I will be joined by Mohd Fazli bin Makdoa, Senior Library Officer at Quest International University, and by my colleague Christos Skoutas from OpenAthens. So before we start, I just wanted to give you a few housekeeping pointers. So we're recording this session. So if you're not able to join us for the live event, you'll be able to catch up with the recording later. And also, if you're here with us now, you can watch it again at some other time or share it with your colleagues that you think might find this relevant as well. If you have any questions for Mr. Fazli or for us at OpenAthens, you can post them on the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. And if you want to talk to the other attendants, if you want to socialize, post any comments, please use the chat panel also at the bottom of your screen. So just wanted to give you an overview of the structure of the webinar now that we've done the welcome and introductions. Now I'm going to interview Mr. Fazli, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his experience using OpenAthens and how his library increased patron usage and patron engagement. And then we'll move to the Q&A at the end. So Mr. Fazli, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a great pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me to the webinar to share some information about our Quest International Universities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fazli. So I think for us to kick off, just like you to tell me a little bit about why you have introduced OpenAthens at your university and what were the key challenges you were having before that.
Okay. Quest International University do not have any proxy service to facilitate off-campus access for students and faculty. Even before COVID-19, at least 60% of the library's online content was accessed from off-campus, making IP-based access less important than it has been in the past. Before single sign-on, each our database have their individual username and password and need to change regularly due for control and abuse purposes. Okay, to improve the user experience and to reduce security issues, Quest International Universities implemented OpenAthens in July 2020, and OpenAthens enable access to all KIU databases by single sign-on. For Quest International University, we integrated OpenAthens with our university email so that students and staff will automatically log in to OpenAthens by university email.
Okay, that's very good. And is there a particular reason why you chose OpenAthens rather than remote access?
Okay, for information, Quest International University invited both companies to do the demos. Remote Access on November 2019 and OpenAthens on February 2020. After the demos, myself, and top management and ICT department, we have a discussion and we decide to choose OpenAthens based on the reason below. Okay, number one is for security, because OpenAthens use XML-based authentication. Two, OpenAthens user directory. Number three is user experience on-site and remotely. Number 4, local directory connection, example for Google account. Number 5 is easy integration with many applications such as Moodle, Koha, integrated library system, and many more. Number 6, the statistic and the report are very comprehensive. And the last one is OpenAthens provide flexible control for managing access right to group of user.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, that's great that you found all these benefits already.
Yes.
In comparison to the other tools. So that's really great to hear. And so how is OpenAthens currently benefiting your library and your university as a whole?
Okay, OpenAthens launch mark a major breakthrough in the modernization of the library and digital access for QIU library user. OpenAthens provide access to the library license online using a single entry system on and off campus. This transformative achievement benefit all the users with easy access to thousands of online resources, including journals, databases, and ebooks. The transition to OpenAthens is a transparent to library user, illustrating a seamless experience for our customer.
That's great. And could you also tell us a little bit about the support and customer service that you received from OpenAthens? What was your experience on that?
OpenAthens customer service is very responsive, committed, and very helpful with any inquiries and problem. During implementation and after OpenAthens went live since July 2020, they respond very fast and provide solution. For example, when in the first 2 or 3 months, when Quest International University facing a problem to accessing the database, the OpenAthens directly deal with the database provider to solve the problem. So it makes me very easy to solve the problem.
Oh, that's really great to hear. I'll pass that along to our customer service teams and our support teams as well. They'll be happy to hear that. And so, Mr. Fazli, how do you use OpenAthens, and what sort of features do you use the most?
Okay, I use OpenAthens mostly to retrieve usage reports and also created an account for China student. I also will check and report regularly to the faculty if their China student did not activated the account. This is because the China student need to activate their account to use the OpenAthens. If not, they cannot access to the databases.
Oh, I see. And it seems like you have a lot of Chinese students at your university.
Yes.
So could you tell me a little bit about how your library caters to them, to international students in general, but maybe if you could be more specific about the Chinese students as well, because it seems there's a great number of them.
Okay, for international student, we do not have any problem except for China student. This is because KIU integrated with university email to OpenAthens. And what we know, China government already blocked the Googles. So for China student, I created their own username and password, and they need to log in via my Athens page.
Okay.
Okay, this is the my Athens page, and also for China student to log in, and for other international student and local student, they will go to the library website.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So hopefully it made your life easier.
Yes.
Very good. So just so we can have an idea, how many resources do you have?
For meantime, Quest International University has 9 databases, and we include the OpenAccess database into the OpenAthens.
Brilliant. Good to know that. And how do you create OpenAthens accounts?
Okay. Actually, to create an OpenAthens account is a very easy, and you must go to the openathens.net, and before you register a new account, you need to create a group, because for example, for Chinese student, I will create a China student batch 1 for control purposes. So each student that register under China student, then can check either they are dropout or they are already graduated. So we can delete their access for control. Okay. So after you created a group, then you will go to account and choose personal account and fill up the details and then create the account. Very simple step, and I just can do very fast because it's very simple and very easy.
Oh, very good. It seems like it's quite of a fast process.
Yeah, fast process. It's not taking much time.
Yeah, that's very good, especially with everything else that you have to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is your biggest concern when it comes to authentication? And can you give us some examples?
Okay, before OpenAthens, Quest International University could not control the authentication of who is using our online databases. Okay, therefore, as a librarian, need to change the password regularly and update to the student and faculty each time the password changes. It is very difficult back then. And with OpenAthens now, we can control the authentication.
That's great to hear. And
yeah.
So during the COVID-19 times, how has OpenAthens helped your organization during the pandemic?
Okay, as I mentioned earlier, with OpenAthens, we are able to great improvement on the off-campus access rate, and our online database has seen significant increase in using during the lockdown period. This is because in Malaysia, with all classes are being held online and library closed in most of the months, access to our Quest online library resources was not interrupted and no abuse was recorded after that.
Oh, that's great. So do you agree in saying that OpenAthens is essential for the functioning of your library during the pandemic when
Yes.
Oh, that's great. And so now that you've mentioned, the impact on your library and your university as a whole, I kind of wanted to see how you feel personally when using OpenAthens. What are the specific benefits, in your view, in using this tool during the pandemic?
Okay, working from home during this pandemic is very troublesome for a librarian, especially when involving IT and technical aspect. OpenAthens saving me so much time if we having a problem with a stanza or link to the service provider or resource. Their customer service can help us within 24 hours to 48 hours to solve the problem. Okay.
Oh, that's really great to hear. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Mr. Fazli.
Yeah.
I'm out of questions now. Is there anything that you'd like to add for now before we move to the Q&A?
I think that's all for my side.
Okay, that's great. So Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Fazli or for Christos? Just give a couple of minutes so people can type. Oh, we have a question now. Actually, two questions from Suhaimi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. So question number one, can students and academic staff use their institutional credentials, ID and password to access service from EduGain service providers, especially non-traditional library resources such as Erasmus Plus and National Institute of Health's NCBI database through OpenAthens? Christos, I guess that's for you.
Yep, I can take that. I would say in general, so that I can cover more cases, we can connect with anything that uses federated access and SAML 2.0. So any publisher that has SAML capabilities, we can work with. I can take that, to double check for these two specific databases. But in general, we work pretty much with every publisher that has SAML capabilities or IP recognition. And that is answering, I think, the second question, which is for publishers who are not SAML ready, how do you access using OpenAthens? And probably you mean with publishers that they use IP recognition. Again, in OpenAthens, we know that not everybody, all the publishers out there, use SAML or federated access, and they still use IP recognition. So we have our own proxy service that we manage in-house, so that we can connect to these publishers, without any problems. And how that works is that we give the publishers a IP address, and they can connect. Your users can connect to them. Again, this is something that we have a dedicated staff to deal with. So as a library, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to change any stanzas, any to work on the configuration files or anything like that. And we do that so that, as a librarian, you don't have to worry about these things. You don't have to allocate time and, spend any money to actually manage, a proxy service. So that's a quick answer. I don't know how quick it was, but yeah.
Okay, thank you, Christos. Another one from Suhaimi. Any EduGain services?
It depends what you mean by that, but in general, again, we can integrate with many library systems, as Mr. Fazli mentioned about systems like Koha, like Moodle. So and this is discovery tools as well. And this is one of the benefits of OpenAthens. You can log in one time with your username and password, and students can go to different services and different applications, not only journals and e-databases and e-books.
Okay, thank you, Christos. So I have one question for Mr. Fazli. So Mr. Fazli, what do you think about OpenAthens reporting?
Okay, for OpenAthens reports, it's very comprehensive, and we actually can create create how we want to do the reports. We can discuss with OpenAthens technician how we want to get the report. For example, if we want based on faculty or based on monthly or weekly. We can create, and then it's very, very comprehensive. We can discuss with OpenAthens and what we want in the reports. So I think it's very comprehensive.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Fazli. Got another one from Suhaimi. How about for those having national federations who have IDMS and IDS? I don't know how to pronounce that. Christos, that's for you.
Yeah, we can connect to other federations as well. Automatically, when you subscribe to OpenAthens, you become a part of our OpenAthens Federation. We have lots of, thousands of libraries in the federation and, hundreds of publishers in our federation, but we can connect with other federations. And regarding IDMS and IDAS, if we're talking about, other systems like, Okta, identity management systems, we can work with that. And there are lots of universities, lots of institutions that they have, a system like Okta, but OpenAthens is similar to that, but it's specific for library resources. And it makes sense, especially for some institutions when they spend lots of money to have systems like, Okta, so that they can, shield the university. It has, better security, more protection. It makes sense to go with OpenAthens to complete that, secure infrastructure so that they don't leave, a risk and security hole in the whole university, the whole institution, which happens sometimes when they have, IP recognition and they have a system like, Okta. We had a few customers like that, and they were reporting security risk breaches, on a weekly basis. And they had Okta, but they had IP recognition, a proxy service for the library resources, which didn't make sense. And then when they brought in OpenAthens, then all these breaches and security hacks, went down considerably.
Thanks, Christos. Another question, is OpenAthens part of EduGain?
I have to double check for that and get back to you. But I think we are, but just to be 100% sure, I need to double check if that's okay with you and get back to you.
Yeah, so Jaime, we can get in touch later on. We on the registration we have your email, so Christos can contact you after the webinar. Any more questions? Give it a bit more time so people can type. Also, if you have any questions for us after the webinar, you can get in touch with us through our email, which is contact@openathens.net. So yeah, we're happy to speak with you if you have any queries at all after the event. Right, let's give it a bit more time. Oh, there you go, one for Mr. Fazli. Do you know about National Federation and how it works?
Okay, for this question, I think I'm not totally aware about National Federation, and maybe I will update to Mrs. Fahimi about this question?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks, Mr. Fazli. So Jaime said, okay, we take it offline. Great. Let's give it a bit more time. Oh, we have another question on the chat panel. Can we customize the interface for the users? Christos.
I'm guessing that you mean customize the interface of My Athens class. And yes, there is a certain level of customization. You can, create panels. You can change the, how the resources list look like, favorite some resources. The user can actually favorite the resources so that they can appear, first when they log in. You can, embed the video in My Athens. There are lots of things that you can do as a librarian. And that's one of the benefits of My Athens, and the reason we wanted to actually redesign it and launch it again very, very recently.
Thank you, Christos. I'd just like to add as well, we just had a webinar yesterday with the university which showed their My Athens setup. So the recording will also be available this week on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, that's also going to be made available on our website later on this week. So you might find it helpful to watch that webinar if you haven't attended.
Yeah, that's such a good shout, Cynthia. I would add that, yeah, each customer customizes the My Athens differently, so it depends what the priorities are, even, the feel and look, where the discovery tools go, and again, each customer is different. They have different ideas, but we can certainly talk to you, and we can show you some examples, on a call, so that you can get a better idea of what librarians are doing with the My Athens.
Right. Thank you, Christos. Any other questions? Let's give it a few more minutes. All right, it looks like that is it. As I said, if you have any questions after the event, you can get in touch with us, contact@openathens.net. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you very much to Mr. Fazli. It's been very helpful, very enlightening. Thank you very much. It's been great. Thank you to Christos as well for participating on the Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Great. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.